I'm Ginny, and here's a list of Trump and his administration's scandals, not including actual policies, many of which were pretty scandalous. Let's start with before he became president, the self-made man myth. The New York Times just investigated Trump's wealth origins, revealing that he had received $413 million in today's money from his father. Trump was a millionaire by age 8, which he did nothing to deserve. And in order to give all this money to his children, Trump's father, Fred, illegally avoided paying taxes with sham companies, improper deductions, and false real estate valuing. Funny how Trump keeps blaming immigrants for taking money away from American people when it's really just his family that's doing that. Trump University lawsuits. Trump University is not an accredited university or college. There are no college credit, degrees, or grades given. 3 lawsuits, 2 of which were class actions, were filed against Trump University for false claims and racketeering. In November 2016, Trump settled the suits for $25 million. Trump Institute. Trump Institute was a traveling lecture series from 2005 to 2009 owned by Irene and Mike Millen that Trump endorsed and put his name on. When he licensed his name to the Millen scheme, he appeared in an infomercial and promised falsely that he would handpick instructors. There were complaints of false promises of wealth, little actual teaching, and requests for refunds that were refused. Also, the textbook was plagiarized from Success magazine. Undocumented models. Some models under Trump model management worked on tourist visas, either never getting the correct permits or getting them only after working in the US illegally for months. Plus, they lived in horrible barracks-like conditions. Racial housing discrimination. Trump management required different rental terms and conditions because of race. It also misrepresented to blacks that apartments were not available when they were. In 1973, the US Department of Justice sued Trump and his father for discrimination against African Americans. After reaching a settlement in 1975, they were sued again in 1978 for violating those terms by still not renting to black tenants. Sexual misconduct allegations. Trump has been accused of non-consensual kissing and/or groping by at least 19 women since the 1980s. His ex-wife, Ivana, made a rape claim during their 1989 divorce litigation. Trump also entered the dressing rooms of Miss USA and Miss Teen USA contestants while they were changing in 1997, 2000, 2001, and 2006. Bankruptcies. Trump has declared bankruptcy 6 different times. In 1991, the Trump Taj Mahal. In 1992, Trump Castle Hotel and Casino, Trump Plaza Casino, and the Trump Plaza Hotel. In 2004, Trump Hotels and Casino Resorts. And in 2009, the Trump Entertainment Resorts. What a great businessman. Not paying contractors. Trump refused to pay for services rendered by contractors, waiters, dishwashers, and plumbers who worked at various Trump projects. There are hundreds of allegations against Trump for not paying contractors. As recently as 2017, workers sued for $5 million in unpaid labor. Additionally, back in 1980, 200 undocumented Polish workers were hired to work on demolition for creating Trump Tower, but weren't paid or were paid below minimum wage. The birther conspiracy. Trump believed and promoted the lie that Obama wasn't born in the US. Trump repeatedly doubted Obama's US citizenship, and when he finally publicized his birth certificate, Trump was proud to have put the issue to rest. Hollywood access tape. Trump bragged about sexually assaulting women. Grab him by the pussy. Trump Foundation. The Trump Foundation used money to settle Trump Organization legal disputes, bought portraits of himself, didn't file proper taxes, and diverted business and personal income to the foundation as donations. Trump solicited donations, without licensing to do so, from other people and then gave the money as though it was from himself. The foundation reported making donations it didn't actually make. He used $258,000, most of it given by other donors, to settle legal disputes. He directed more than $2 million in income to the foundation and didn't pay taxes on them. This brings me to Trump's presidential campaign. Tax returns. Trump was the first major party nominee / president since 1976 not to make his tax returns public. Perhaps he has something to hide. Karen McDougal. Trump had an affair with a Playboy playmate from 2006 to 2007. In August 2018, Michael Cohen admitted paying hush money to her with campaign money. Stephanie Clifford, aka Stormy Daniels. Trump had an affair with a porn star and then directed Michael Cohen to pay her $130,000 in hush money with, you guessed it, campaign funds. Saying Ghazala Khan was probably not allowed to speak after her husband spoke about their son's death in Iraq. The couple made a speech at the 2016 DNC criticizing Trump. Trump responded by suggesting that Hillary Clinton's campaign staff had written the speech. He then implied identified a connection between Ghazala's silence and gender roles in Islam. If you look at his wife, she was standing there. She had nothing to say. Maybe she wasn't allowed to have something to say. You tell me. Trump's dealings with Russia. On June 9th, 2016, Trump Jr., Jared Kushner, and Paul Manafort met with the Russians at Trump Tower. Trump Jr. admitted he agreed to the meeting with the understanding that he would receive information damaging to Hillary Clinton. On May 10th, 2017, Trump disclosed classified information from Israel during an Oval Office meeting with the Russian ambassador. Michael Flynn had conversations with Russian envoys about sanctions. George Papadopoulos pleaded guilty to lying to the FBI about contacts he had with agents of the Russian government while working for the Trump campaign. Rick Gates lied to investigators about lobbying with Ukraine, also tax and bank fraud. There was a private intelligence report, the Steele dossier, that contains allegations of misconduct and collusion between Donald Trump's presidential campaign and the government of Russia. Also, election security and the hacking attempts by the Russian government. The Russian government interfered in the 2016 election, trying to increase political instability, damage Hillary Clinton's campaign, and boost Donald Trump's. In July 2018, Robert Mueller indicted 12 Russian military intelligence agents for hacking email accounts and networks of the DNC. Trump denies Russia had anything to do with the election meddling. And now let's get to Trump in office. Trump family businesses and conflicts of interest. Trump didn't divest from his real estate empire. He handed operational control to his sons, but maintains ownership. Jared Kushner also didn't disclose and divest from companies, creating conflicts of interest. Michael Cohen. Cohen pleaded guilty to tax evasion, bank fraud, and illegal campaign contributions. He also helped arrange hush money to Stormy Daniels and Karen McDougal. Paul Manafort. Manafort was convicted of filing false tax returns and bank fraud. Golfing. Trump has been golfing 25.5% of the days he's been in office, costing taxpayers tens of millions of dollars. James Comey's firing. Trump was, quote, enormously frustrated that the FBI Director Comey would not publicly confirm that he was not personally being investigated. Trump had asked Comey to let go of the charges against Michael Flynn, and his firing could be considered the obstruction of justice. Trump's firing of U.S. attorneys. On March 10, 2017, Jeff Sessions abruptly requested the resignations of 46 United States attorneys. Dianne Feinstein said it best. Under previous administrations, orderly transitions allowed U.S. attorneys to leave gradually as their replacements were chosen. This was done to protect the independence of our prosecutors and avoid disrupting ongoing federal cases, at a time when Attorney General Sessions has recused himself from major investigations into the Trump campaign. The independence of federal prosecutors could not be more important. White House staff's personal email use. 6 White House staff members use private email accounts to discuss government business, which could be seen as a violation of the non-criminal law called the Presidential Records Act. Cabinet Secretary travel, office expenses, and other misused perks. Scott Pruitt traveled first class from Washington to New York and Cincinnati to Rome with his aides flying coach, costing taxpayers $90,000, and from Cincinnati to New York on a military plane at the cost of $36,000 to catch his first class flight to Rome. He also bought a $43,000 soundproof phone booth. Tom Price had flown on official business more than 24 times on expensive private jets instead of taking commercial flights, costing taxpayers more than $400,000. The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development had spent $31,561 on a set of dining room furniture for Ben Carson's office. Steve Mnuchin took 8 flights on military jets to destinations that ranged from West Virginia to Italy, $800,000. Discussion of classified information at Mar-a-Lago. Trump dealt with a sensitive foreign policy issue in view of club guests. Private guests in the club's dining room took photos showing Trump and the Japanese Prime Minister conferring and looking at documents regarding a North Korean ballistic missile test, accusing Obama of wiretapping. Without any evidence to back it up, Trump claimed Obama wiretapped Trump Tower. Rob Porter's spousal abuse. Rob Porter abused his 2 ex-wives and resigned from his White House staff secretary position on February 7, 2018. His ex-wives had photo evidence of black eyes and restraining orders. Chief of Staff John Kelly had known about these allegations since October 2017, but still promoted him. Dismissal of members of the EPA Board of Scientific Counselors. In May 2017, 9 of the board's 18 scientific experts were emailed that they were being dismissed from the EPA, a part of a larger pattern of the administration attempting to remove science from the EPA's policymaking. Revoking White House security clearances. Trump has been taking away security clearances of past and present White House employees because they criticized him. In July 2018, Trump revoked the security clearances of former Director of National Intelligence, James Clapper, former CIA Director, John Brennan, former FBI Director James Comey, former CIA Director Michael Hayden, former National Security Advisor Susan Rice, and former Deputy FBI Director Andrew McCabe, for reasons not tied to security violations or unauthorized dissemination. Pardon of Joe Arpaio. On August 25, 2017, Trump pardoned Sheriff Joe Arpaio for criminal contempt of court. He had disobeyed a federal judge's order to stop racially profiling in detaining individuals suspected of being in the U.S. illegally. Declaring Jerusalem as Israel's capital. Trump decided to recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital. This decision was rejected by a majority of world leaders. In a UN Security Council emergency meeting, 14 out of 15 members condemned Trump's decision, but that motion was vetoed by the U.S. Stay tuned on Prompt for more videos like these, and also stay tuned on this government for more scandals like these. I'm Ginny, and thanks for watching.